When you're choosing your ventilation for your grow room, you'll go through many stages trying to find out what fan is best for you. If it's budget, or you're looking for a high-end fan, or you're looking for an EC or AC, we sell the air mixed flow fan in both AC and EC, and they're great for extracting air under pressure out of a grow room. You need to be moving that hot air out of a room, but you also need to be bringing fresh CO2 air into the room to make your plants flourish, and that's where you use an extractor fan. You extract air out of a room, that's the bad hot air, and you bring in cool, fresh air into the room, which has got higher CO2 levels into it, and it will cool the room down when your lights cause the heat of the room to increase. So the great little fans, put them in the top of a tent or in top of a room, or hot air risers. This will grab the hot air, suck it out through a filter and away, reducing the heat of a room. And by doing that, you're bringing fresh CO2 air into the room, which will make your plant absolutely flourish. How you doing, guys? Welcome to Ian's Product Focus. What we're going to focus on today is a mixed flow air fan from Global Air Supplies. The mixed flow air fan from Global Air Supplies is a great little fan. It now comes in an EC version, so we have the original AC version, absolutely bulletproof fan. We've now brought the EC version out, which again is tried and tested, and we're getting no returns on this product whatsoever. Normally when you're bringing a fan in like this at this price level, you're going to get a lot of returns. We don't get any. The great thing about it being an EC fan at the price level it's at is the way it's controlled. When you're controlling an AC fan, you've got to control an AC fan either with frequency or with a heavy duty step controller. Generally they will cost more than what the fan costs, or they create a lot of buzzing and humming in the fan as they start to judder the motor. With an EC fan, there's something like 1200 steps from 0 to 10 volts. So you imagine you're on 5 volts, the fan's running at 50% of its speed. Take it down to 2.5 volts, it will run at a quarter of its speed. There'll be no humming, no buzzing. The controllers for these are relatively cheap and they do exactly what you want them to do. They're thermostatic, they'll do relative humidity. So all you have to do is connect the fan to this small lead, connect the power to the IEC, and you're up and running with one of the best EC fans on the market in the price level that it's at. How does the mixed flow fan work? So there's multiple different ways of putting air through a tube and taking it out, but what you want to do is move a lot of air under a lot of pressure. So what the mixed flow fan does, as you can see in the front, you've got the impellers in the front. What the impeller does, it's driven by the motor, it then forces air through the impeller, and the impeller kind of splits the air. It sends the air around and straight through, and then it hits these guide vanes, which you can see here. So these are the guide vanes, what run around here. They then straighten up the air and give it the pressure it needs when you're connecting it to a filter or you're doing a long duct run. So when you're working with extractor fans, there's multiple fans out there. There's the big old box fan, not very good under pressure. They move a relatively large amount of air until you put a filter on them. You put a filter on a box fan and literally the airflow out of them dies. We've got a lot of people saying, oh, we love box fans, we like using box fans. They're really, really quiet. They're only quiet because there's no air coming out of them. The only noise you generally get from a fan is the air noise. So by reducing the air noise on a box fan, it means there's nothing literally coming out of there when you put a filter on. That's why you've always got to over-spec the box fan to twice as big as it should be just to move that amount of air. Then you've got to put a control on them. That's why I don't particularly like box fans. What I like is specifically designed fans to do what they're supposed to do. So you have a radial fan, like the RVK, where basically it spins, sucks the air in, throws the air round the casing. That's why an RVK style is always shaped like this, like a bell. That sends the air round, hits the guide vane and spins. You've got the mixed flow fan technology, like I explained before. You've got the impeller here that draws air in. It splits the air in two, that's why it's called mixed flow, so it sends it out and directly through. Then you have the guide vanes at the other end of the fan, which straighten up the air and make it higher pressure. So that's the difference between a mixed flow, a radial, And in the box fan is what we call a squirrel fan. Literally it sucks the air in, throws it out into the box, and then eventually it gets out of there. That's why they're not very good under pressure, but these fans are great under pressure. So if you're running a filter, make sure it's either a radial or a mixed flow fan. We've been selling the air fan here at Global Air Supplies for quite a few years, and it's an absolute bulletproof fan. Get very, very little returns for the price point it's at, and also the amount of air and the pressure it gives is absolutely phenomenal. We've now gone the extra mile and brought the product out in EC. It means electronically commutated, so it's how the fan is controlled. An EC fan is generally not more powerful, or it doesn't move more air than an AC fan, but what it does do, it is controlled a lot better. All the air mixed flow EC versions of a fan come with the dimmer, so that literally plugs into the controller cable, and then you can set the controller where you want it to be, and the fan will run at that speed consistently. Or you can unplug this and put any of the G.A.S EC controllers into it. So if you want to simply control an outtake fan, use the EC1. If you want to control an intake and an outtake fan, jump to the EC. If you really want to dial in your room, you can start using the AC EC controller or other high-tech controllers that we sell, which will control the room day and night, minimum and maximum, and also control your RH. So it's a great little fan, comes with the dimmer, like I said, no noise when it's being controlled, moves a lot of air under pressure when you've got a filter attached. So thanks for listening, guys. We've been talking about the mixed flow air EC fan from Global Air Supplies. Absolutely great fan, works fantastic under pressure, comes with a little dimmer, and will work on every single G.A.S EC controller that we sell. Cheers, guys.